discussion possible action regarding investigation of water contamination in LaSalle County, potential meeting with Soil Conservation District. But we're gonna work at a joint meeting with, motion, a joint meeting with the Water Conservation District, so I believe Dimmitt County and Zavala County. Possibly fund the investigation of water contamination. Although the water contamination may be within acceptable limits, we are concerned with the fact that the contamination does exist. So we would like the joint meeting to be able to help identify the sources of such contamination.
Judge, did you want to include the city of Cotulla?
Which would include working with the city of Cotulla. You got it, Martin? And I would need that in the form of a motion.
Second.
And like, we've taken a position, it's not that anybody has done wrong, is that we've had in the water quality reports, chemicals show up that continue to show up year after year. And even though they're at acceptable limits, when you have barium or arsenic, how are they getting into the water supply is a question. And I think people have been asking for years, there's something in the water. So I think it's very important for us to do so. We've previously spoken to Mr. Dolina. He's very supportive of working with it. And, that way we get the Winter Garden District to understand it's not that they've done anything wrong, is that we feel that there's something that they need to look at. And when they got created, they were created to be able to hear the community and county interest concerning degradation of water. And that's why they were created back in '97. And Judge Patterson was county judge, and Tracy King authored that legislation, and I found all those papers, all those orders. So this is an issue that's been at the heart of our citizens for many, many years, and let's look at it. With that being said, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. We didn't take any action on the update from the sheriff. He's going to be the public information officer, and is going to be releasing a public statement to the public. So, talking about, a recent incident at the jail. So we're going to defer to him. And real property, we had some property evaluations done, commissioners. It's going to be something that we discuss and deliver it in executive session, but we need to give the commissioners some time to review. And we also need to supplement some information that was not provided regarding properties that we're interested in. So there's no action there. I don't know what the next item is. 11:30. We can go through. Go ahead and go through the bills and get that out, and then come back at 1 or 1:30, or we can go now and come back at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
Mr. Ramos will be here at 1 o'clock for his executive session item. Before we break, I would like to go one. I had mentioned in here, number 20, discussion possible action on resolution implementing, amending, extending disaster order relating to the COVID-19 pandemic. I did receive a call from TDM, and they were gonna check with the governor to see what other resources they could provide us to help with the school. I asked for staffing, testing, additional buses, because they follow CDC requirements. They don't have enough buses, and they would need additional staffing as well, but the teachers have been hit pretty hard. They have to clean. So the more staffing they can get to help clean, the more they can teach. But last week, we had 42 cases of kids that were, which was twice, well, it matched Dilly and Pearsall combined. And I know we had a testing this week, on Saturday, 46 people went, 8 people tested positive, 3 under 12. So that means we have a 20% positive ratio. I know Texas Monthly did an article in Dimmitt County. It came out yesterday, and they said Dimmitt County pretty much mirrors ours, because we're pretty much about the same percentage, 63, 65%, of everybody being vaccinated, and they're getting about the same amount of cases. They're getting about 15 people a day. They're getting quite well. Maybe they're getting more, even though a lot of people are vaccinated. So what we're seeing the spread of the virus pretty strong on people that are not vaccinated. The other question that we run into, and it'll take me some time, is that we do have federal contracts, and we're considered the federal contractor for the inmates in the jail and ICE. And what I'm hearing is that they're going to hold us as a general contractor, meaning county employees and elected officials have to be tested. Vaccinated. Want to get it out to her to see, what happens if they don't want, because OSHA is saying that they're going to, once they put everything together, that it could be fines up to $14,000 per incident. So we'll be reaching out for direction on that. I think the majority of the employees are vaccinated. So that's something that we are going to be bound. We have more than 100 employees, but we're considered a federal contractor. So I don't think we have anything to put as far as any restrictions at this moment. And that was my question to the governor. Okay, TEA has their own quarantine procedures. Department of Health has their other quarantine procedures, and they're not matching. You got 2 state agencies under the governor that have different set of rules. You can be 3 feet apart in a school classroom, but CDC says 6. So they have to be conformed, because, what do you do? If the school is quarantine, does do quarantine of students, they don't have the ability to enforce it. The counties do, but the governor says you can't enforce it, then you're limited, so that you run people that don't have symptoms, they can pass it. So there has to be a way to contain it. And at some point, my actual question to the governor's office for TDM was, what is the tipping point to where decisions can be made on a local level under the direction of the doctor on how to contain the spread, and it should go to each community. So that's the hardest. So we really can't do anything other than bring it up. And the question is, if we can't do all these things, what can we do? So you don't want us to do masks, then help us with the spacing. Give us the money for the busing, give us the money for the teaching, give us the money to where we have enough testing so we can take care of it. And I know they're going to be ordered, but they're going to be backlogged on testing for a while as well. So it's, we'll keep you on board, but I don't think there's any action we need to take on that right now. But as soon as I hear, hopefully I can hear something positive, but there has to be a tipping point. There has to be a point to where, you know, we're authorized to help take care of our people.
How many kids on the door tested the other day?
Three,
And they come out negative?
yeah. No, how many people at the whole,
Young kids.
I don't know how many people, I just know 46 people tested, young and old, 8 people tested positive, 3 people under 12. 3 people under 12.
Just positive.
And that's all. I don't know what the makeup of the children was, and we probably need to do some more. You know, my thing is, hey,
Well, not a lot of people know about this, no. I mean, it was just pretty quick.
what happened is that there was gonna be some other testing in Laredo, and it didn't happen. So we had 1 day notice, but in 1 day notice, 46 people showed up. So the need for testing is there. And we can do testing in Ensenada because Vitamed goes every day from the US Marshal, and they can stop in Ensenada at the city hall and test 8 or 10 people a day, which something we could do. You know, out of this order, we could authorize COVID testing, you know, maybe a couple times here and do a couple times in Ensenada if we want. You know, it depends on what you want. Say, hey,
When's the booster shot down?
September, I understand somewhere on September 20th, this will be available. And within a month, we should be able to have the kids from 5 to 11. That is going to be submitted to very shortly to the FDA. Yeah, the Moderna, but well, right now it's still the Pfizer. The Moderna is still being put out. There's the Moderna. The booster has not been approved, but a 3rd shot is recommended. There's a difference. So you got your Moderna supply. If you get a 3rd shot, you can get a 3rd shot. You know, for those people that meet the standard. But a booster is still being developed. I guess that has the new strains and everything else that's been developed. It's also being worked on getting approval.
Is there gonna be for the Pfizer or just Moderna?
Well, the Pfizer is going to be out as a booster.
It's a booster.
Moderna doesn't have a booster. It's approved yet. It's a 3rd shot. The same. It's the same. It's a 3rd shot. But it's supposed to say, hey, it still works as a 3rd shot.
So you think later on they're gonna come out with a 4th shot? I mean,
I think later on they're going to come up with an updated booster that's approved by the FDA. The 3rd shot is approved to help your immune system stay up. The booster is supposed to catch additional viruses or strains or what. I don't understand some of that, but that's where I'm at. So if you want, we could do a motion to go ahead and as part of declaring a disaster, asking people to follow CDC requirements and authorizing testing. We're testing in Cotulla, we're testing in Ensenada, you know.
yeah.
And the tests are hard to get. The test that they're doing is called a molecular test. You got your Abbott quick test, but it's not considered a lab test. The test they're bringing is they bring in their equipment, they set it up, it's considered a laboratory test. So there's a difference to consider. With that test, they can also give you prescriptions, you know, if you need to.
They show that test at Walmart también, no?
This is the problem with the test at Walmart. This is a problem we're running. You go buy a test at Walmart and you got symptoms, you need test. What's happened is many people aren't reporting to CDC. So they're not being picked up. So the chances are that person does not have symptoms and they're positive, but they're walking around possibly infecting other people. That's the problem that we're running in with those tests that are ready. So, I mean, right now, encourage people to wear masks, encourage people to get vaccinated. We know there's an emergency.
Well, there's a lot of people who get vaccinated last week.
And they will be, hopefully they will. We've had a few more deaths than I thought we were, and it's very, very sad because it's hurt a lot of families and, you know, hopefully vaccinations will stop other people from getting very ill. But the testing is still not easy to get. It's still it's harder to get right now because the vaccines were available. So what happens? The vaccines available. Why do we need tests? And they weren't being produced as much. But now that we have the wave, is that there's such a need for tests that they're in short supply. We're kind of back to step one. You know, to be able to control it. So we still have quite a bit of people that are vaccinated, you know, 38%. In the South, 37%. So, you know, I guess that'd be an emotion to go ahead and make a motion that we are in a disaster related to handling COVID, urging the people to follow CDC requirements and authorize 2 testing dates in Ensenada and Cotulla for COVID. And to continue to keep the emergency management operations open. And to track progress of the virus. And that'd be in the form of a motion.
I'll make the motion. Thank you.
So all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We'll break to 1. Yes.
You gave 2 different numbers on the percentage vaccinated in the South. I don't know whether you misspoke or whether I heard it wrong. What is your estimate of the number of people in the South who are fully vaccinated?
All right, I think I got something here.
You said 38 haven't.
Well, what we have here from the state, and this is the new latest, out of from people 12 years of age or older, there was a possible 6,477. 4,038 are fully vaccinated. That's a 62.34% vaccination rate.
63?
Yes, that's why I said 38, 37.
37.
I must have misheard. I'm sorry, but thank you.
And I can go kids from 12 to 15, there's only 186 children vaccinated. 16 to 49, 2,544.
I fall in there.
50 to 64, 1,142. I fall within there. 65 to 79, there's 701. 80 and above, 158, and 1 unknown. Yep. I guess they didn't put the date. But Webb County has an 83.36% vaccination rate.
We're counting as 83 according to the state.
Yes, because everything has to be put into M-Tracks.
Yes.
And Frio County has a 48.62%. And Dimmitt has a 65.99%. Now, as people are getting vaccines, those percentages are gonna change a little. You know? So,
We're at 63, right?
yes,
63, motion ends.
I didn't catch who made the motion, who seconded.
I made the motion.
It was your motion?
You made the second.
Oh,
you know,
Choice.
Live Oak to the south of us only has a 30% vaccination rate. And McMullen has a 43%. So,
very well.
yes,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you, Mark.
So I'd like to break till
1:30.
1:30. 1:30.
Make the motion to
Judge, I don't think you're gonna need me back at 1:30, so I will excuse myself.
Mr. Shaughnessy,
Absolutely. Y'all take care and stay safe.
all right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Um,
care.
Who made the motion?
No,
Second.
me too. That's me.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. George? It's all good.
Yeah, the webcams at 83.
Yeah.
Yeah.